Straight into this. This is Harry for Housebird TV. I'm back again with another video. So I'm filming this soon after this statement from the supporters trust from the club, and quite frankly, I'm just really pissed off with what the club deem as acceptable to reply back to the supporters trust. They took like a month to reply. Yeah, a month to reply. Yeah, I'll just get straight into it. So yeah, it took 4 weeks or something along those lines for the club to report back to the supporters trust the questions they posed to them. Furthermore, we had this little interview with a para teacher who surprisingly is still being shown by the club despite his ongoing Juventus issue, and he might be banned for transfers, speaking in the public about our transfers, which is quite suspect, and I think it's quite weird personally. But okay, let's talk about what was dropped last night, because this will air tomorrow morning. It's like a premiere, so this is pre-recorded. Okay, if you guys still have questions, still put them in the comment section below. And sorry about the introduction, I'm just a bit, my head's all over the place after reading that statement back to the supporters trust, because I'm fuming. I'm still angry, and it's been like 3 or 4 hours since after I read that, and I'm still fuming. So let's first get the Paratici stuff out of the way. So the club posted a video of Paratici on February the 1st, so that will be 2 days ago when you watched, 2 days after you watched, before you watch this video. And he mentioned stuff about the project, buying young players. He spoke about some of the young players out on loan, building for the future and all this. Now, from watching the video, and bearing in mind they brought in someone else from outside. I don't want to name him because I don't think it's actually really his fault, but they brought in someone else from outside to speak to Paratici to kind of show, we're in touch with the fans and all that bull. It's not even true, obviously, but he's yeah. But say interview Paratici, and he replies, "Oh well, we're building for a long-term project. It will take time. We're bringing in 2 or 3 players each window to fix this squad." Now, correct if I'm wrong, you have a 24-man squad, right? So let's assume you might have, or in our case, only have 2 or 3 players, which is good enough, if we're being pretty honest. But let's just say 24, yeah, and you bring 2 or 3 each window. That's about 12 windows. Give or take, let's say like 9 to 12, if we're pushing it. Let's say like 10. 10 windows, which is in a sense 5 seasons to fix this squad. Now, I don't know about you, but we've been through 5-year projects since I've been a Spurs fan, since the ENIC taken charge. And we're in year 22 years, I think, since the ENIC took charge, yeah? So we're 5 years, and I keep saying this on Twitter, and you guys need to listen to this. We're 22 years into a 5-year project, because this is a 5-year project number, maybe about 5. Yeah, let's do the maths. It's 5. It's the fifth year project. 5-year project. Yeah, tongue twister there. So Paratici is basically just, as far as I'm concerned, he's just reading a script. I don't think he even knows what he's saying. He's just reading a script. We're building a project, and I think they put him in front of the camera as like a fool guy, because obviously the fans like me, and we're growing now, want Levy to actually speak up truthfully, not dishonestly, because every interview I seem to see with him, he seems to lie about what the club is going to do. What's the future of the club? What's the direction? We have a manager whose base is probably going to go in the summer, because he's not going to sign new contracts. It doesn't seem to look like it, does it? Okay, now that's out of the way. So that's one video they put out, of one piece of information the club put out, which to me was scripted, complete rubbish, and it's the same message they've been putting out since the beginning, since 22 years ago. And keep this in mind, okay? So now the supporters trust finally got their reply from the club. Now we had statements and replies to certain questions, stuff like, success for the club is 13 qualifications in whatever many years it was, 17, 20, whatever it was they said, and they deemed that as successful. 13 times of European qualification. So apart from the fact that they're staying it right in your eye, success for ENIC, success for the owners, success for Levy is just European qualification. Of course, in our case, it's obviously Champions League, and that's pretty much for me shown by the way we've been doing business for the past 22 years anyway. The aim initially was to make the Champions League, but they sold us a lie saying they're doing it for different reasons. Then they answered back to like the stadium and said, oh yeah, we built the stadium, we built the training ground, we're doing all these extra things off the pitch. in order to push us on the pitch or something along those lines. Something like putting the money from there into there, because that's what we've been sold and told for the past 10 years. And yeah, that's all great and all, but that's the same statement you could have easily wrote 22 years ago, because they're still talking about doing even more buildings, even more sponsorships. That when the day after the window closed, we got a 47.5 million sponsorship from South Africa. Surprisingly, it was announced after the window closed, right? Because where's that 50 million going to go? Yeah. Coincidentally, they had the cheek and the nerve to claim we spent 47 million in this window when the Poro deal, which we all initially thought was going to be permanent, right, was pushed to next summer. And then they claim we paid Kulusevski like already or something, and I was just like, well, that's not really possible, is it? Because you can't have spent 47 million this summer because Poro hasn't signed a permanent yet. We spent 7.5 million per loads of different sources this window. So how dare you claim we spent 47.5 in the actual Poro transfer this window? Because we didn't get Poro permanently this window. I have no issue with the loan. It's just don't lie to us, because you clearly don't care. And then they speak about how we've heard about how you fans claim we don't back managers. Well, we spent 500 million in this window and 200 million over the past few years since 2019 and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, that's all great, but when you have people like Mourinho claiming they were 5 million short for Kim and Jai just 2-3 weeks ago, yeah, you have AVB who claimed years and years and years ago he asked for certain players like Moutinho, who, by the way, we took the last minute to try and get done, and finding Griffey and blah blah blah. And it's people like Damiao, like Oscar he asked for, and Willian. It's a statement posted years and years ago, but that's just an example. Harry ran up on Talk Sport a week or two ago. I think it was last a few days ago, actually, not a few weeks ago, like 5 days ago. Goes, well, I asked for Suarez. I think he got the players confused. He probably meant Hazard, but it's besides the point. And Daniel gave me 3 players for free, which I think he's referring to Nelson and Zaha and someone else probably. But so how can you claim you back managers? And it's almost like the club is trying to deflect on the fact that Mourinho's spoken out, Redknapp's spoken out. It's not a coincidence. And they say, oh no, well, we do back managers because we spent X amount of money in this period of time with apparently upper quartile of spending or some rubbish like this. And it's like, do the club and the owners genuinely think we're stupid? Do they genuinely think we're stupid? Well, maybe some of them are. Some of us are, must be, because there's some people who I was arguing with earlier tonight on a stream, not live, of course. It was just in the comments, claiming that these statements are like legit, like they actually are reasonable. And I'm like, are you serious? Seriously, are you serious? Because all I've heard reading those is either generic replies, deflecting, lies, because yeah, 13 European qualifications is not successful. Successful teams win trophies. They don't just qualify for Europe, or obviously in ENIC's case, they just want to qualify for the Champions League. We all knew, and people who didn't read the statement before all knew that that was their aim. But you could have told us something completely different and said, that's not successful. Successful was the one trophy that we won in 22 years. But obviously for you guys, it's not. So there's your answer as to why people are leaving out like me. Well, there's your answer, right in that statement back to the supporters' trust. They have no respect for the fans. They don't care about us one bit. The fact they deflected a lot of the questions should tell that all to you already. And the fact it was to the supporters' trust, of all people, which obviously unfortunately they represent us all. And in the eyes of the club, they do as well. The supporters' trust probably represent us all, or our voices, however you want to put it, right? No respect to us. Levy doesn't respect us. As far as Levy concerned, he would have tourists in that ground going to all these Beyonce concerts, Gaga concerts, Wizkid. All these concerts are happening. Then he has to cheat to claim before that all this money goes back into the team. Well, obviously not, because we just keep missing out on players. So what is the answer? Because as far as I can, they're just lying to us, and they know they don't care about us. Levy and ENIC have zero respect for fans, and people need to get this in their head. They have zero respect for Tottenham Hotspur fans. Like the real fans, like people like me and you, and people watching this video, people and other YouTubers, other people on Twitter who actually go to the games, pay the money, or actually have been fans since like not even before ENIC, but like real fans, not people who became fans or go to the stadium just for a day out, or go to the stadium just I hate to bring this up, just to watch Son, because you have these Korean like tourists come in, and that's what Levy wants, because they come here for like a day trip. It's like, yeah, we'll go and watch a football match and Son's playing. Okay, there might be some real Korean fans, but I'm just saying this is just an example, and so hopefully people don't take this the wrong way. But it's just an example, is that he doesn't care about the real fans like you and me, who go into the ground year after year, game after game, pay the money, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care because he didn't. That it was very. I felt those statements, reading them, those replies to those questions, I found them patronizing. The fact they actually even said fans have claimed, oh, that we don't back managers, but we've spent this and this much. Well, you could have said, oh, we made mistakes and we should have spent a bit more money on the players that the managers wanted. But I genuinely think that statement kind of marries up to what Redknapp and Mourinho was saying earlier last week about these claims to try and deflect from those claims that claim they're not true or something. It's something not nice. But at the end of the day, this is why we leave it out, because they have no respect for fans. Levy and ENIC has zero, and I'm saying this, zero respect for Tottenham Hotspur fans. And Levy out.